blessed family, my name is Abigail Bennett and I have a word from the Lord for you today. This video is for those who are in their waiting season. Listen, God said He is going to show you why waiting is worth it. Never view waiting as a punishment. Never view waiting as God doesn't love you or God doesn't care for you or God doesn't want you to be happy. No. If God has you waiting in this time, it is for a season. The Bible says that God works in times and in season. There is at certain activities in the heavens, it works by seasons, right? So look at the life we're living now. We go through seasons. We go through fall, we go through spring, we go through summer, we go to winter, right? All of that is temporary. We're not in winter all year long. We're not in summer all year long, right? It is temporary. So when God has you in a waiting season, it's not forever. It is temporary, right? In that waiting season, I don't want you to focus on why you're waiting, why you're idolizing the wait. You're like, I've been waiting for 5 years. I've been waiting for a year. I've been waiting for 10 years. No. You're not supposed to be murmuring about the wait. No, you're supposed to be seeking God while you're in the wait. You and God needs to be best friends while you're in your waiting season. There's a reason why God has you in the waiting season, right? So that He can prune you, so that you can grow, you can become the man or the woman that God has called you to be. So the waiting season is never a bad thing. The perfect example of waiting season can be waiting for marriage. That is never a bad thing. God has to get you by yourself in isolation so that God can show you certain things about yourself. Listen, there are certain things you don't know about yourself, but God knows. God knows you better than anybody else. He said He knew us in our mother's womb. Before we were even formed in our mother's womb, God knew us. So God has to get you by yourself so that God can honestly tell you about yourself, right? God has to get you by yourself so that He can tell you about yourself. Certain things you need to grow on. Certain things you need to improve on. God needs to improve your heart posture. God needs to improve your characteristics. God needs to improve you on the fruit of the Spirit. So many different things. And that is a process. That's not something that can be done in 1 week, right? So when you're in your waiting season, God has something extraordinary. God has such a big plan for you. He says He knows the plans for you, plans of good and not of evil, plans to give you hope and a future. God has big plans for you. There is a reason why God makes you wait. It's never for evil. I want to give you some biblical examples of people who waited on God. Listen, there was a woman named Elizabeth. This woman and her husband served in the house of God. They served in the temple, but they never gave birth. It wasn't until one day this woman became pregnant after being years old. And this generation, we will call her, listen, she's high risk, she's maternal age, she's like too old to be having a baby. But in that time, God wanted to show her, listen, I can do anything. God gave her such a big blessing. God gave her a son who came to prepare the way for Jesus Christ, right? So that win was so big. That blessing was so big to her life. That blessing was so big that her own husband, Zachariah, could not believe it. The angel had to shut Zachariah's mouth, her husband's mouth, for the full 9 months of her pregnancy, just because he lacked faith that this old woman, how can she be pregnant? The blessing is so big that it's going to shock you. The blessing is so big that it's going to make you even doubt that it's possible for you. Listen, the blessing is so big that the wait is worth it. Like, listen, it is worth waiting on God. It is worth waiting in this season. Listen, we live in a generation where it's a microwave generation. We live in a microwave society. Everybody wants it now. Nobody wants to be in the gym. Nobody wants to work hard. Nobody wants to dedicate their time in isolation with God anymore. Everybody just wants everything now. But you forget that if you don't build your character for where you're going, your character, how it is now, will destroy the blessing that you will receive. The blessing that God has for you, God has to prepare you for it. Let me say it again. The blessing that God has for you, God has to prepare you for it. God is not going to give you a husband if you as a woman is not prepared for it. God is not going to give you as a wife if you as a man is not prepared to be a husband. God is not prepared to be a husband. It's true. God is not going to give you children if you as a woman, you hate kids. God has to work on your heart. God is not going to give you a business if you can't even manage your job that you have right now. God is not going to give you $1 million if you can't even manage the $30,000 or $40,000 a year that He has given you. It's that simple. God, listen, God is a God of decency and order. God is a God of principle. God follows structures. He follows principles. He follows laws. God is not going to break his law for anybody. It doesn't matter how many times you cry and how many times you try to manipulate God with your emotion. God knows you're manipulating him. Like, he just knows. He just knows it. So if you are waiting in this season, I know it is not easy, but listen, the blessing is going to be so magnificent. The blessing is going to be so great. The whole heavens will rejoice. Your family will rejoice. Your friends will rejoice. Your community will rejoice for the blessing. But I don't want you to have negative emotions tied to this waiting season, right? This waiting season. Because in this waiting season, when the blessing comes, it's going to shock you, because God did it for me. And I believe that because God did it for me, he will do it for you too. When the blessing came, when the winning season was here, I'm like, who, me? It's going to shock you. It's going to shake your world. You're going to be like, am I dreaming? Am I imagining this? And that's how God does his things. God does everything in times and in seasons. Do not compare your life to another person's life. Listen, if Sally Mae got this right now and you don't got it right now, it is time and season. If Bob have a car and you don't have a car right now, it is time and it's season. You don't know the season that Bob was in. You don't know the season that Bob was in before he got that car. If somebody has bought a new home right now, it is their season to buy a home. You don't know what they went through to get that home. You don't know the levels of whatever they went through to get that home. So don't compare yourself. Listen, we live in a society that wants to compare ourselves to everybody. Listen, don't compare yourself to anybody. When your winning season, listen, everybody's winning season is specialized. It's tailored just for you. It's gonna be so big. It's gonna be so personalized just for you. So you can't compare yourself like, oh, why she has this and why he has that. And no. You're trying to get somebody else's blessing. No, you need to focus on your own. The thing that God has for you, it's so great, it's so personalized. God knows what you need. He knows you need the home. He knows you need the car. He knows you need an increase in finances. He knows everything that you need. The winning season is going to be so magnificent because God says that he's able to do exceedingly abundantly more than we can ever imagine. He's going to bless you with everything that he says. Why? Because he is not a man to lie. He says that there is a blessing for the righteous. He is not a God to lie. He will do it and it's going to be great. Why? Because God said it. He is not a man to lie. He said he will do exceedingly abundantly more than we can ever imagine. So that means if you just thinking about, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get this little 2-bedroom townhouse or whatever, and God says townhouse, God is like, I want you to get the 5-bedroom 2-bath house. You see, God is thinking 10 steps ahead of us. We're thinking, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get this simple little, 1995 car for now. God is thinking, old car, I'm getting you a new car. You're thinking, yeah, I'm just gonna settle for this relationship. It's not all that, but I'm getting old. Time is passing by, so let me just. And God is like, what? I have that man of God there. I have a man of God available for you. I have a woman of God available for you. But if you would just hold on a little while longer, if you would just hold on, keep on the faith to what I have for you, it's going to be big. It's going to be beautiful. But you keep on allowing the enemy keep talking negative thoughts into your mind that it can't happen and it's not going to happen for you. It will happen for you. Because there are so many testimonies of how God has moved people from one state to another state and provided for them. There are so many testimonies of God doing kingdom marriages in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months, in 8 months, in less than a year. It is possible. All these testimonies are not fake. It comes to show us that, listen, it is possible. If God can do it in my sister's life and God can do it in another brother's life, he can do it for me too. It's just going to be personalized and tailored to me alone. So if you're watching this video, your winning season is coming. It's going to be big. It's going to be great. You're going to cry tears of joy. All the years that you have struggled, you have toiled, everything that the enemy has stolen from you, God is going to restore it all, because his word says that he is going to restore the years that the cankerworm and the palmerworm have taken from you. He's going to restore it all. He's going to restore your home. He's going to restore your marriage. He's going to restore your health. He's going to restore your finances. He's going to restore every single thing that concerns you. Why? Because we serve a God who loves you. We serve an everlasting, loving God. He wants nothing but the best for us. He wants nothing but good for us and not of evil. He cares for us so much. We are precious in the eyes of God. We are the apple of God's eye. So I want you to know this, that the winning season is coming and it's going to be great, and we will rejoice. We will rejoice with you when it happens. Just keep on holding on to God in this time and in this season. Don't lose the faith. Don't give up. Don't allow the enemy to speak negative thoughts into your head that you have to settle. Listen, no. We serve an abundant God. We serve an abundant God who is seated on his throne. The earth is his footstool. The clouds are the dust on his feet. We serve an abundant God, a beautiful God, a magnificent God. We serve a God who likes nice things too. Okay, so wherever you are, your winning season is coming, and it's going to be great, and it's going to be get big. Just trust and believe that it shall happen for you in this time and in this season. God bless you. God bless you.